We journeyed 24 kilometers from Marsabit town to Kargi, cruising through rough terrain with no end in sight. Grazing camels are the only sign of life in this desolate wilderness. 3 hours later, we arrive at Kargi, a small town in Loyangalani sub-county in Marsabit County. In the outskirts of the town, a barren wasteland stretches to the horizon. Life is rough out here. Kilton Russo, a 67-year-old mother of 4 children, is crawling from Mamanyata to tell us her story. Russo was not born deformed. This is what happens when you are forced to rely on groundwater that was contaminated in the late 80s and early 90s.
The sun is too hot for me. The water is salty. I have 4 children. I gave birth to the first 2 while I was healthy. The other 2, I was in this condition.
Samani mmegonjeka, so mgonjwa ni ina samani, shida ni maji.
Being deserted by her husband came as a huge blow, but that would not be the end of her suffering.
Long ago, the environment was good.
Initially, she could use a wheelchair, but even that became impossible as her condition worsened. She says that money for the elderly is a foreign language here. Self-reliance is the only way to survive. Russo crossed back to Amanyata, the only home she has known all these years. When nature calls, she has to relieve herself here. She is also bathed within these walls by her children who keep hoping for a better tomorrow, but chances are slim. We move to the next village where we find this elderly man sheltering under an acacia tree. Mampesan Dabalen is lost in deep thought, weighed down by a grim future. Dabalen lost his wife to cancer 3 months ago. He is also battling esophageal cancer and can only speak with the aid of a voice box.
Nakata sauti yangu yote nafunga mpaka kukaa karibu kukufa. Baadaye siku tubeleka mpaka Meru.
Dabalen believes that his illness was brought about by the contaminated water.
Maji ile mchungile samani wanafanya kwa aberia.
Since losing his wife, the father of 4 is constantly worried about his children's welfare, who will be total orphans once he is gone.
Watoto hakuna maana, hakuna mama. Mama huenda tafuta chakula. Na mama hakuna.
Locals here say that being diagnosed with cancer is akin to a death sentence since no one can afford health care. Dabalen shows us his NHIF card, which he says was issued by the county government of Marsabit, but when he visits the hospital, they turn him away saying that the card has no money. Dabalen hopes that help will come soon for the sake of his children.
Sasa hapa ndio kaburi ya mama yangu ni ile. Yeye mwenyewe alikufa na liver cancer. Hao wote ni kutoka Manyata. All these ones ni cancer ambayo ukiona hizi nguo yao inaleta naye ni watu ya Manyata.
At Kargi Town, our lead Baraka Buroya takes us to the cemetery where he buried his mother not long ago. Baraka tells that more than 50% of the people buried here died of cancer.
Na without any usaidizi ya county government, any usaidizi ya hapa ni binadamu tunatoa, sisi tu tunatoa simiti yetu.
Due to the hard surface of the ground within villages that makes digging of a grave an impossible chore, bodies are buried here where hyenas cannot exhume them.
Akifikisha age of 52 years, automatically mama anaenda, baba anaenda, mwingine blockage ya mkojo. Hiyo watu wengi ukiona mzee amekufa, hiyo umri ikifika 70 hawezi toa ile mkojo, anawekwa pipe. Baada ya pipe unaambiwa refer home. Hiyo home ndio tunajuanga we are planting them. Yes, people are going daily. Na hii watu wanapiga kura jamani.
Karagi Dispensary, the only health facility in this region, has been receiving cancer patients but lacks equipment to handle them.
The most common cancer around here is esophageal cancer, where the patient will come complaining of difficulty in swallowing or maybe not even able to swallow at all.
Cancer patients are referred to St. Teresa Mission Hospital in Kirua in Meru County, more than 360 kilometers from Karagi, for treatment and screening.
Most of the cancer referrals that will fall here for several reasons. One, either for surgical intervention, which is the department where I sit in. Secondly, for investigations, either to stage or to establish how far the disease has spread.
But what could be the cause of the cancer cases in Karagi? Their reporters show oil exploration was carried out near Chalbi Desert between 1986 and 1990, which could be the cause of water contamination.
We need to understand what actually caused, what is the connection basically between the exploration and the contamination, especially around the drilling sites, because these are all grazing sites. They have not been closed off. It rains and there is always runoff. So without getting into issues which require specific scientific research, there is that feeling that there is a connection between the exploration and the cancer cases.
That time there was no legal framework. We didn't have the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, which makes provision for the requirement of environment and social impact assessment to be undertaken before such a project will be undertaken.
Locating the exploration site took us almost 3 hours after losing our journey several times. When we finally reached the site, it is to discover a huge pile of bentonite, a substance that was being used during the drilling of oil by Amoco Kenya between 1986 and 1990 and was never disposed of properly.
This waste, some of them are radioactive. That means that they cause diseases like cancer. Some of them have elements that can even damage the brain. Some of them affect our hormone system, the endocrine system, leading to various diseases.
Exposure to bentonite can cause serious damage of the central nervous system, kidneys, and immune system.
Water is saline, and with the presence of substances like arsenic and nitrites, then I think the community need not really consume this, because it's potentially carcinogenic.
We know the stomach has got a lot of other types of acids. So with nitrates and acids combined, it becomes carcinogenic. That means it can actually cause cancer. And elsewhere, such kind of reaction has been found to cause the cancer of the stomach or the colon cancer and the like.
According to a report by Greenpeace, between 1988 and 1994, there were 94 attempted or actual cases of hazardous waste export to Africa, involving over 10 million tons of residue from Europe, targeting 16 African countries, relying on parts of least resistance and weak governance structures.
there was both dumping in the sea and also on land. So there has been a lot of problems, not just within that period of 1988 and 1994, but the issue of waste dumping, especially in developing countries like Kenya and African countries.
The substances ended up in remote areas in countries such as Equatorial Guinea, Lebanon, Somalia, and the Congo. The site of exploration is a short distance from Chalbi Desert. Calore Springs, which is part of the desert, where thousands of flocks and people quench their thirst on a daily basis, could be contaminated, according to the residents. Residents of Karagi told K24 that they witnessed the dumping of toxic waste in this area. It took place the same time when the oil exploration by Amaco Petroleum was going on.
Niliona hiyo chemical inatumika kwa kuwekwa kwa hole wakati bit inakataa kupiga mawe huko chini. Hiyo chemical wana art ambayo wazungu walikuwa wanatuambia mfunge simu na hawa ndo wana operate.
This could be the reason for contamination of groundwater in this area. From the year 2000, cancer cases have significantly multiplied in this region, and in Kariki alone, more than 200 people have died.
It has been growing. It has taken very huge toll on the community, knowing that the population is very low there. And then the herdsmen who are actually involved in taking care of the animals in the field, the able-bodied people are the ones who are dying.
Livestock has not been spared either.
Baada ya El Nino 2007 ndio ilianza kuleta shida ikamaliza mbuzi 2000.
Many animals died. Many animals, records are even showing about 7,000 in a day. The goats which were being watered there during the day just died.
Mabohol zote ambayo tulikuwa tunatumia hapa inakuwa polluted, inamaliza mali. Mbuzi 3,000, mbuzi 6,000, mbuzi 7,000, inakunywa tu maji zinakufa. Unaona tu yote imelala, hata mtu hawezi toka hata na mbuzi moja. The only animal tuliona kwamba ili survive ni punda peke yake ambayo imekunywa maji na imesurvive.
NEMA Director General Mamo says that he has written to several ministries, including the Minister of Mining, Water and Health, seeking a multi-agency intervention.
Screening, screening camp or medical camp for the local community, just to establish what is the cause of these cancer cases that is being reported.
The most affected areas are Dukana, Maikona, Karacha, North Hor, all of them in the northern part of the desert. Residents of Marsabit petitioned the High Court through Kituo cha Sheria to compel the government to intervene quickly and avert any further spread of the cancer scourge that has claimed so many lives thus far. But as the wheels of justice continue to grid at a slow pace, despair and suffering will keep haunting residents of Kargi. Until then, who will come to their rescue? Dan Kaburu, K24, the voice of nature in Marsabit County.